So I decided, one, to make a channel to let everybody know what I'm up to, because I decided, two, that everybody needs to know what I'm up to. Juno is also here. So, back to what I was talking about. So, just so everybody knows, and so that you know that I know, all of this back here, this is going to be changing a lot during the video. I'm aware that it's changing, and I'm sorry. Oh my god. There's tape there now, isn't there? Tape? Oh man. I know it's not good and it messes up with the continuity of the whole thing, and that can be distracting. I apologize, and I'm not going back to fix it. But for now, let's talk about where I am. I'm in my house. Okay, so that's not really what I want to talk about. Actually, what I want to talk about is more about how I got here than where I actually am. And I don't mean that in like a life kind of way. How did I physically here? This is going to be a really good channel, you guys. Let's start when I graduated. So after I graduated, 10 days after I graduated, I flew to Annapolis, Maryland from Georgia. When I got to Annapolis, I stayed with my mom's best friend for a couple days while I was commuting from Annapolis to Baltimore, and then back, and you know, back and forth for a couple days. And then when I was done doing that, I flew back from Baltimore to Georgia so I could get all my stuff. And then I trucked from Georgia to Maryland. And since I decided I was a new trucker, I decided to do some trucker things, like drinking a lot of coffee and maybe 1 or 2 5-hour energy drinks. Also, on my trucker thing list, I stopped at truck stops. And in case you don't know this, truck stops have everything you would ever need, and they have it in the order that you need it in. So then, after I got to Maryland, the second time I moved around and I did some things and I went some places and I ate some food and other ambiguous things, I ran into this guy who had ridiculous calves, and I pay attention to people's calves when I'm like walking around, but I had my camera this time, so I went to the Grand Prix, which was fun, and I watched that for a little while because it was right outside the hotel that I was staying at the time, so I just got to go down and walk around Baltimore, and everywhere you went there were like fenced off areas and cars just zooming through and a lot of people, and that was fun. And I just generally explored Baltimore, Maryland. I generally explored Maryland in general, not just Baltimore specifically. A really, really good channel. So if you're going to do any exploring, then you probably need a couple of things. All exploring requires a compass, and that's the first thing that you absolutely have to have, because that's really what it means to explore, is to have a compass. The actual ability to read a compass is semantics. It's if you whatever. And that's basically it. Then you just do it. So that all sounds really tiring, but it actually didn't take that long. Honestly, I'd say it took about 2 minutes and 49 seconds. I mean, honestly, we could look at it right now in some kind of disjointed, non-linear montage format if we really, really wanted to.
Fishnets, now you only get it in your night dress. Discarded all the naughty nights for niceness. Landed in a very common crisis. Everything's in order in a black hole. Nothing seems to pity is the past though. A Bloody Mary's like an El Tabasco. Remember when you used to be a rascal? Oh, the boys are slag. The best you ever had, the best you ever had is just a memory. And those dreams, when as daft as they seem, as daft as they seem, my love, when you dream them all. Flicking through a little book of sex tips. Remember when the bars were all electric? And now when she told she's gonna get it, I'm guessing that she'd rather just forget it. Clinging to not getting sentimental. Said she wasn't going but she went still. Like a gentleman had to be gentle. Was it a Mechadabra or a betting pencil? Oh, the boys are slag. The best you ever had, the best you ever had is just a memory. And those dreams, when as daft as they seem, as daft as they seem, my love, when you dream them overflow. Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Oh. fast life lane. Just sound